Thank you, Whip. Once again, we have an agenda that's bringing bills to the floor to follow through on things we talked about during the campaign. These aren't just bills we're seeing for the first time. Some of them are bills we brought up last Congress. But as the Whip pointed out, as we would pass a lot of these bills, the Senate under Chuck Schumer refused to take any of them up, refused common sense policies because they just wanted to continue bowing to the radical left. You saw it with the Lake and Riley Act. And I remember back last Congress when we had the Lake and Riley Act, there were some, even some in this room that would question, well, why are you bringing a bill like that if you know the Senate's not going to bring it up? Isn't that just a messaging bill? And we said, no, it's smart policy. It's the right policy. And we're going to stand up for what's right, whether the Senate will do the right thing or not. And so ultimately, if you look at what happened with the Lake and Riley Act, Mike Collins's bill not only passed again this time with more Democrat support, so very bipartisan out of the House, as it was last Congress, but now we have a willing Senate with Senator Thune as the majority leader willing to bring the bill up. And that bill will likely be the very first bill that President Donald Trump gets to sign when he becomes the 47th president of the United States. So just like with some of the other bills, we're going to continue to stand up for what's right. This week, you're seeing a few of those. One of the most common sense bills that we've had is the bill that says men cannot play in women's sports. I traveled all across the country during the election cycle, and this came up everywhere you went. People don't understand why it's even an issue that Congress won't resolve. And when you tell them, well, we passed a bill out of the House, but the Senate wouldn't even take it up. Believe me, it was a factor in a lot of those races. And so when you talk to most people in America, common sense tells you that men shouldn't be playing in women's sports just because some on the far left want to continue to jam their ideology and whatever other kind of things they want to achieve and upset what Title IX is all about, upset women's sports, and take away opportunities for so many young women across America. It's just not right. And so we're going to stand up for what's right. Again, we're going to bring that bill to the floor, just as we're going to bring Nancy Mace's bill that says if somebody is here illegally and they're also committing assault and violence against women, that's a deportable offense. Again, similar bill that we brought last time, passed out of the House. Chuck Schumer refused to bring it up in the Senate. I think we're going to see a different approach from this new Senate. You know, when people say elections have consequences, the consequences are already being seen and felt in the terms of actual good policy, not only making it through the House, but actually coming up on the Senate floor for real votes now. And when you see President Trump get sworn in next week, it's going to be an exciting day. But it's going to be an exciting time for the country because it marks a new beginning for America. Now, we've been preparing for this moment for a long time. One of the biggest preparations is budget reconciliation, a bill we've been working with President Trump on for months now and working with our committee chairs on. But now it's about to get real. We're talking about bringing a budget by February in Congress, in the House, and then ultimately setting up the opportunity to create a budget reconciliation bill that's going to be focused on getting our country back on track, on securing America's border, on producing more American energy, on lowering costs for families who are struggling, on addressing these radical rules and regulations that add more cost to the inflation that's already driving people to the point where they can't even afford to put food on the table. We're going to be addressing those problems that we talked about during the campaign, and we're going to be bringing one big, beautiful bill, as the Speaker talks about, and the President does, to address those problems and move that bill quickly. So, again, our quarterback leading that effort is our Speaker, Mike Johnson.